here. So it actually contains three buildings. This one, the swimming pool building, the gymnasium, this building here, and there's a rifle range behind it, and all the open space you see. We've taken a long-term lease from the Home and Communities Agency, who are the government body who are, they're redeveloping lots of packages of derelict land all around the country, but we've taken a long-term lease from them. And in Greenwich, we've sublet the gym back from ourselves. We're an under-tenant to ourselves in that regard, the joint tenancy between Kent and Greenwich. I've got the overall site, okay? So that is staying with Greenwich as a gym. We are going to convert this building, this square you see here, as an open space development, and also in a smaller guise, the rifle range around the corner, which we'll look at in a minute. In a briefest context, that's the site. Now, the reason we're doing it is, do you all want to take, have you done the National Student Survey? You've heard of it, have you? Yes? No? Oh, that's a good start. Yeah, Christine, they don't have the National Student Survey.
No, they do it this year because they are graduating this year.
What's really, now everyone knows you're paying fees, obviously, thankfully. Universities, a lot of universities, are taking student satisfaction a lot more seriously. You've got to listen to what the students want. And one of the key feedbacks from the campus is it's not the biggest campus, but it's not, it's a fair size, but it's not that big. It hasn't got like a student centre, student hub. Are you aware of the facilities here? I mean, you study here one day a week, do you? Is that what you do? Yeah. We've got a union. Do you know GK Union? Yeah, down in Pilkington building. So we do take a bit of criticism of out of hours activities, student events, societies, that sort of thing. And they haven't actually got their own space. They've got an office, but they have to repeat with teaching or to put like societies up, like gaming society, have to be the biggest one. They need to book space. So the concept here, with the last undeveloped buildings and all the other buildings that are functioning, we see if we can turn it into a student centre, a student hub, we've defined it as. It may not be called a student hub, we'll probably change its name when we actually launch it. So what we'd like to do is take this building and turn it into something that we can give the unions to run as their own. Their offices are going to vacate Pilkington. They'd also vacate the pub in Cooper's underneath Jellicoe building, and also the shop. So everything, basically their presence and that in the campus would go, and it will be relocated here. But bear in mind they serve both Greenwich and Kent, because obviously the Kent buildings are over there, the Greenwich buildings up here. So this is kind of up the centre of the campus, I would suggest. Sort of equally distanced for both institutions. So in here we want to try and achieve as much as we possibly can, but with limitations of the physical building. Obviously, it exists. We're not starting with a blank canvas. We've got walls, a ceiling, and a footprint, which fundamentally is going to stay. It's also Grade 2 listed, so we've got the restrictions of everything associated with listed planning. So, do I describe what's going on inside? Do you know what the design is as it stands? If we go inside, I can show you on a drawing actually what it's. In terms of the project program, actually, I should talk about project program. Okay? We have currently, just before Christmas, we achieved the feasibility. What was stage C, which is my referred to. They've changed it from letters to numbers in recent times. So I've got the right terminology, right?
They know all this.
Yeah,
that's the bit they do know.
I forget. Basically, we've completed stage 2 concept design, and we are the design team are working on the development design, which is stage 3 as we speak. That will be finished by, I think, March, and in around the same time we're going to go for listed planning application as well. So that's a point in the programme where we're at. Assuming that is successful, which we hope it will be, because we've had pre-application advice from them already that they're minded to be favourable to what we're suggesting. There will be obviously then completing stage C. Stage. Get it right. Yes, stage C. Then we'll go to tender. That'll be over this early summer, and then we'll have a presence on site here about midsummer this year. And then we foresee about a year to turn this around. So the target date is September 16th for starting a new term with a new student centre up and running. We've decided to break into two package projects. So they're going to slightly overlap. We're going to do like the superstructure, the externals, the building fabric repairs, structural elements first. We'll get that tendered and out of the way when we start in the first phase, which will be followed by like the internals, the soft finishings, the internal elements. So we've kind of slightly staggered them to allow us to fit within the time frame because we were starting to run out of time a little bit. So we brought it forward because it was looking about October and we really wanted to sort of done July sometime to move in for September occupancy and up and running. Because always projects slip, and if you've got an absolute start date, you don't want to be handing over the building the day before you move in. So you've got that sort of settled in, get computers up and running, make sure it's a functional building rather than just moving in and using it the next day. So in a very broadest context, that's the site, the programme, and where we are with that programme. Any questions on that?
Have you faced any difficulties so far in terms of it being grade 2 listed?
Yes, and more than that, it's also a swimming pool. We don't want to make a swimming pool. We've had 2 pre-application meetings with the council, and it's whilst it's in a fairly run-down state, it's still fundamentally a Victorian Edwardian swimming pool, which listeners would love to see as a working swimming pool. The trouble is, if you know the local area, we've got an Olympic-sized swimming pool, so half a mile away over there. There's no need; its purpose is defunct. It doesn't need to be a swimming pool. So what we've got to do, it's a very careful balance. We've got to be able to regenerate this building for another purpose whilst retaining its signature, its historical signature. So we are carefully designing. Obviously, we've got a swimming pool in there. Swimming pools by design have got floors like that. That's no good to anyone, is it? So we've gone through the whole thought process of can we lower the swimming pool down? Can we fill the swimming pool in? And being mindful that we need to retain the integrity that in the future, whilst we don't intend to turn it into a swimming pool, it may well be a swimming pool, 50 years' time again, because that's its original purpose. So there's a lot of tensions and balances to find, and eventually, the planning officer says don't touch a thing, and say I want to change it here, and you will eventually come to that happy medium. We're intending to fill the pool in with a space frame, still a space frame, and put a precast concrete panels across the top. So it's fundamentally usable as a flat floor, but it has the ability, should we wish to in the future, with a nod to the historical element, to remove that and turn it to a swimming pool. There's also a few nice little features we'll notice in here, and through just even consultation with students, because I should mention that, we're actually, to a limited degree, but we are having student bodies come in and advise us on how they think we should develop and what we should keep. And we want to anyway. There's a nice mezzanine level in there, a viewing gallery. We're going to retain it because it does look nice and it's part of the feature of the building. We haven't got purpose for it yet. In fact, I don't think we will, but it will be retained. So we are going to try and keep as much as we possibly can, but mindful that particularly with modern services, like air handling plant, there's no particular heating in here. There's no pipework runs. We are going to have to pump through elements of structure, but that's the negotiations we need to have with planning. Anyone else? Next point. Nice, good. Right. Do you want to carry? Have a look. Right, we've all got hard hats, high rise. There's a gentleman in here surveying at the moment from our structural engineers. So just so you can see some of the hard hats, he's got some up to. In terms of speaking to two of our, you work, don't you? You work for I assume. Yeah. Well, of the few we've spoken to, look at this site and say, oh, fantastic, look at it. You've got access to all 4 sides of the building. You can get the things of like planning your work in central London. You can't park anywhere, you can't do everything, you've got the congestion charge. We own the site, we own the